Hello my YouTube world, this is Johnny Mo coming to you today with another video in 2016. Today I'm so excited about this. As you know guys, I really love music. I love seeing the transition of where music was to where it is and how it applies to your business. And in today's video, we're going to talk about a genre of music, a style of music that does no longer exist. And how does that apply to your business? Now, if you look at life in 10-year increments, a whole decade, I like to use McDonald's as an example. McDonald's is still the same, but every about decade they change things. They get a little bit of modern look. Now, they never changed the logo. It's still gold, but they'll update their buildings. They'll do new things. And how does that apply to your business? If you think your business model that works in 2016 is going to work in 2026, you have to be on the cutting edge if you're going to continue to be a relevant business down the line. Using McDonald's as an example, they wanted to open up a new stream of income, and so what they did is they added a coffee line. Now people just wait in line to get, a coffee and breakfast line, and they're always being innovative. And that's what you have to do in a lawn landscape business sometimes. A few years ago, things were getting a little stagnant, so I added fertilizing. What can I add to boost my income? Because when your schedule's packed, what can you do to boost your bottom line and add a service that's not going to stretch you out too thin? These are things I want you to think about. These are things as business people I want you to think about. I want you to think in terms of 10-year increments, decades. You're like, well, Johnny, I'm just getting started. And maybe this video doesn't apply to you, but maybe it will down the road here. And I'm going to play some songs for you, some of my favorite era of music. And I want to show you how if things change so rapidly, a whole genre of music could be totally gone out of your life. A style of music can be completely gone. And having said that, that can be your business. That can be the business that you're right now. You can be very successful in what you're doing. But if you don't stay up with the times and you don't change and make those little small adjustments, you could be like this whole genre of music. It goes back, as you know, I'm a 70s brother. I love Motown. I just think it was one of the greatest eras. They put out so many good hits. Sometimes I'll just lay in the dark and just meditate. I'll put on some of these old songs and I'll just totally just meditate and go into that relaxed state, just using this particular genre of music. And we're going to talk about a style of song and how it evolved over the years, and now it does no longer exist, this style of song. And we're going to start out with about 73, 74, the stylistics. Listen to that. I mean, just a great melody. You Are Everything. Just phenomenal song. It was a great song big hit for the stylistics back then. Still a good hit when you hear it. Listen to this. They don't make music like this anymore. Wow, this great music. And then, a few years later, the Manhattans came out. We're about 1979, 1980 now. Shining Star, still the same melody, still the same types of voices. But what they didn't know, things were about to change here in about 3 years. The Motown was going to be pretty much irrelevant here coming soon. They never knew that. They never knew, after making all those hits from 68 to 83, that this was all going to come to an end. And you got to think that way when you're in business. Listen to that. Woo! Great music. So here we go. We're going to be changing things up. About 3 years later, Marvin Gaye, his last album before he dies, puts out this hit. Now, music is going to change here. Notice it's a little bit more upbeat. Notice the content, the melodies have changed a little bit. See, the old groups didn't make that change, where Marvin Gaye did make that change. Great hit for him. Great song, especially if you're married, baby. Woohoo! All right. Now, I'm going to pause it right here because this next group I believe Marvin Gaye in '83 started to make the change into what I call the new jack swing era. Teddy Riley is the one who really promoted that new sound. It was a new sound. Now Motown has basically dominated R&B for 13 years. And now there's a new sound coming out. And I believe this band that I'm going to play for you right now started to make that change into that Teddy Riley era. And this is New Edition. Now, you're like, Johnny, what does this have to do with business? What I'm telling you, it's the little changes that you need to make in business in order to survive. A lot happens in a decade. When Motown and Berry Gordy and Smokey Robinson, all those guys were putting out hit after hit after hit after hit after hit, they never thought that train was going to stop rolling. It did. It stopped rolling. And this is the thing. What you're doing now may not work 10 years from now. You're going to have to make those changes, in order to survive. Now, this group right here, I believe, slowly made that change. 84 this came around, 83, 84. It appealed to a new generation, whereas Motown was a little bit older generation now. This brought in the new generation, and it ushered in a new era, new jack swing era. And that's the change. Now, 87 comes along, a couple years after this. The man, the myth, the legend, there it is. Whole new era of music. Now, we went from 74 in the 70s to Motown all the way up to we're 86, 87. New Jack has fully turned. The Motown sound's gone. Listen to it. Completely different. Completely different style of music. And because it changed, Motown did not. Motown's no longer relevant. Now we're moving into this element of music now. I believe Keith Sweat changed the scene when he came out. And this is one of my favorite Keith Sweat songs of all time. I couldn't go without playing my favorite Keith Sweat song. I mean, literally, listen to that. Look at that, listen, boom. Nice, great, nice melody. Keith Sweat was a whiner. He was whining at women, when he was singing. But listen to that song, and the music has definitely changed. Motown never stayed up, and it's no longer relevant. It did not appeal to the new generation. Just like this music now would not appeal to the generation now. I think they're missing something because they're not having any type of music like that. This song's called How Deep Is Your Love? My favorite Keith Sweat song. This is a group, Teddy Riley.
Jam.
This is 88, 89 now. We're about 20 years into it. This is the style of music that's going on. Music has definitely changed. The landscape of music has changed, but it ushered in this next artist. This New Jack City ushered in this next artist who brought us his first song was R. Kelly's Honey Love and Slow Dance. This introduced R. Kelly. Some consider him the Stevie Wonder of our day. I'm not sure about that, but hey, And then his biggest hit, 1996.
My mind's telling me no.
Now listen to the definite change of music from 96 all the way back to 1974. 20 years difference. I want you to think about that. Great song, especially if you're married. Listen, they don't make music like this anymore. There's nothing on the radio like this. This genre of music is completely gone now. This genre of music is completely gone. The love song, the holding your wife's hand type of music is completely gone now. There is this genre that you just listening to is completely, there's nothing like that on the radio anymore. And I think it's a shame. But how it applies to business is you have to think about where you're going to be in a decade. Some of you can't think about where you're going to be in 2 months because you have not decided that you're ready to stick this out. You have not decided that this is what I want to do with my life, and sometimes it's going to stink, and sometimes you're going to want to quit, and you're going to want to give up. But the truth of the matter is, if you'll just hang in there, you'll probably make it. You know what I mean? Some of you won't, but some of you are just, you haven't given this business a chance. You think, we want it our way. We want the McDonald's. I pull up, I order a cheeseburger. By the time I get to the second window, I got my cheeseburger. That's not what business is like, my friends. Business is not going to be A, B, C, D, E, and F. Sometimes B doesn't work and you have to move on to C, even though B didn't work. You can say, well, I'm at A, I'm going to B, then I'm going to C. Sometimes B and C don't work, you got to go to D. It's just how business is. And if you're a quitter, you're not going to be successful in life. And you'll be one of those people going around all the forums, this sucks, this is that. But if you're a business that wants to succeed, you're going to have to make little intricate changes in your business model over the years. Stuff that I did in 1996 doesn't work anymore. I used to go out and I would leave the bill at the house at the end of the month. Now you're emailing bills. Back then you didn't have to letter your trucks. It was a little bit easier. There wasn't a lot of competition. Now there's tons of competition. Just things that change. And sometimes you need to change. Using McDonald's as example, updating your building, updating your color, I always keep my color the same, the blue, but sometimes I'll throw in a shirt like this and put blue in it. It just makes things a little bit different. We offer different things. About a decade into it, we started offering yearly contracts because we noticed that people wanted more services. They just couldn't afford them. So we added them in and billed them on a monthly basis. Instead of, doing a $6,000 mulching job and trying to get that $6,000 right away, we would spread that out, the cost out. We started landing more jobs. Advertising, social media is the way to go advertising, to get yourself out there. I mean, I got a roofer for my house over the summer because I read someone's post about a roofer. I didn't look in the yellow pages. Social media is the way to go if you want to advertise that way. Just things are a lot different, and you got to make those increment changes so that you will make the long haul. Because I'd hate to see a genre of music or a genre of people be out of the business. You have to make those adjustments in life. You have to make those adjustments in business. I love to see what McDonald's does. They seem to be the forefront. They offered breakfast first. They wanted to add another revenue stream in, so they put in breakfast. Well, then they maxed out breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so now what do we do? Well, here, we're going to add on a coffee line. Well, then boom, coffees, goes through the roof, really propels them into the next generation. People go just to get iced coffees and different things. I was just mowing and a little bit of landscaping. But what I noticed was I wasn't getting, the clients that I wanted because I wasn't offering a full service. Most professional people that, let's say doctors and lawyers, or people have exposable income, they don't like mailing checks out because they're busy. Okay, I got this person doing that. I got this person doing that. I got this person doing that. If you can become, and it can fit into your scheme of things, and that's something that we really marketed and niched, and it's worked really well for us, is that area where, I can snowplow your driveway. I can prune your bushes. I can fertilize your grass, and I can mow it. And then once you niche that, then you can really market that and then really, bring your business down to really a profitable center. Guys, this has been fun. I love talking about this stuff. I think you're going to get a lot out of this video. Here's another thing. Guys, if you want to email me direct at johnfrew@gmail.com. The reason why is when you email me through YouTube, it doesn't let me respond to you. I do all my stuff on the phone. I'm very rarely on a desktop or very rarely on a laptop where I can actually go into the settings and message you back on YouTube. So I've gotten a lot of messages over the last year, and just please, if you're watching this video, email me direct at johnfrew@gmail.com, and I can reply as I'm reading it. My phone will not let me go into YouTube and let me, reply back. If I reply back, it sends it back. Hey, that's my time. Loved, talking to you about this business.